flag of the United States of America. Stands one.
Roll call, please.
Mike Johnson.
Here.
Ryan Milkey. Here. Nancy Vanderkin. Here. Marsky.
Here.
Julie Nickel. Steve Bastian. Absent but excused.
Okay. There's no public hearing scheduled this evening, so with us is Patricia Ninman, Dodge County Sheriff. Welcome.
Thank you.
Turn the podium over to you.
First of all, thank you for allowing me a few moments of your time during your meeting. The purpose of me being here today is one, so you get a face with the name. I know most of you, and to let you know what's been going on at the Sheriff's Office the past year. I took office on April 5th after Sheriff Todd Nails retired. And it's been a whirlwind of activities for a year, and I think Peter could attest to that as well. Todd Nails gave his notice in February of 2013 that he was going to retire in March. So that opened up the application process, which I went through and was successful at getting the appointment from Governor Walker. The one thing that a lot of people didn't know at that time was the chief deputy at the time, Blaine Lowerstorff, who had been with the sheriff's office for 30 plus years, had also taken his papers out to retire. So in a 1 month period of time, we lost both number one and number two. When I was given, Governor Walker said, okay, I'm going to appoint you. I went to the chief deputy and I said, Blaine, can you give me a little bit of time, to get my feet settled before you retire? He said, absolutely, Pat. So I took office on April 5th and he retired on April 12th. So he did give me a 1 week extension to his retirement. But in all reality, he had planned on retiring in March. He did a great job. He deserved his retirement. Would I have liked a little bit more time with him? Absolutely. The unfortunate thing is Todd retired in March and I never got to spend any time with him. A little background about who I am. Born and raised in Dodge County. Started my law enforcement career with the city of Beaver Dam. Started working there as a dispatcher. Spent a couple years before I went over to the sheriff's department and played with the big people. Started my career in the dispatch center at the sheriff's office. Worked my way up. I was a sergeant, a supervisor, director of communications, support staff. I was Peter's boss for a little bit of time. Went over to the jail. Spent a couple years as a deputy jail administrator. Then I went on the road as a patrol lieutenant prior to taking my appointment. Why do I tell you this? Is it to brag about it? Absolutely not. That's not the type of person I am. But because of my experience in the different divisions, really helped me when I became sheriff, especially with the chief deputy retiring. There was a lot of things going on. We had a lot of projects up in the air, and I was able to take the sheriff's office and take off running and be able to complete the projects that had started. Now, I wouldn't have been able to do that if I didn't have the experience in dispatch and if I didn't have the experience in the jail division and then work in the road. So it really was beneficial. A lot of different personnel issues. I don't want to say issues because they weren't issues. Personnel changes, I should say, in the past year. Had to promote a new chief deputy. The chief deputy I promoted was Scott Smith. It was an internal candidate. I did open up the position statewide, and out of the entire state of Wisconsin, I received 4 applicants for the chief deputy position. So out of those 4, Scott rose to the top. He took the chief deputy's position last summer. I've also had to promote 3 patrol lieutenants, 2 patrol sergeants, 2 detectives, 2 jail supervisors, 2 jail corporals, hired 5 deputies, and 3 correction staff. That's a lot in 1 year for personnel alone. Not only was personnel changes going on, we also had implemented some different programs at the sheriff's office. One of them was our Cops Against Cancer program. If you haven't seen my squad, I drive a black Impala. Normally, the sheriff drives an unmarked car. I chose to decal my squad. Mine is a little bit different than most of the deputies. Mine is in breast awareness pink. And it has Cops Against Cancer on it, and on the hood is a big cancer ribbon that says lock up cancer, unlock a cure. Now, a lot of people say, why would you do that? You know, what is the purpose? Personally, I've been affected by cancer with family members, but last summer, our chief deputy's wife was diagnosed with breast cancer. I was at the National Sheriff's Conference, and walking through the vendor spot, they had a cancer booth. And I stopped, and they had a squad that was decaled in all pink. And I said, well, that's a unique idea, a little bit too much pink for me. But what could I do to bring that back to Dodge County? So on the way back, thinking of different things, got back to Dodge, called up the gentleman who does our decals, and I said, okay, this is my thought. What do you think? He says, let me work on something. He sent me his vision. I said, that's what I want to do. The best part about this is the money that was used to purchase these decals was donated. So there's no taxpayer dollar used for this program. Not only was my car decaled, but each of the deputies were able to choose a cancer ribbon to display on their squad, and they got to choose what color cancer they wanted to represent. Now, there's over 30 different colors of cancer. I think that's ridiculous that we have that many different colors of cancer. But I was amazed at the feedback that I got from the deputies and the different cancers that they chose. Pat, I want blue for colon cancer because my father-in-law suffers from colon cancer. I want yellow because my grandmother died of bone cancer. Each one of them had a story to tell. And I'm happy to say that each of the different colors of cancers are represented on a squad. So if you ever get behind a Dodge County squad and you wonder, okay, what does that gold, what kind of cancer does that represent? Go back home and look it up. Gold is actually childhood cancer, but each one of them has a different meaning. And if somebody's driving by, sees one of those ribbons, or sees my squad and says a prayer for somebody who's fighting this awful disease, or maybe picks up the phone to make a donation to cancer research, then the program is a success. And so far, I think it's a huge success. So that's one of the programs. We're also having Coffee with a Cop. We had one in Waupun about 3 weeks ago, Dale? At Helen's Kitchen. What is it? It's 2 hours. You come in, local restaurant, have coffee with a cop. It's a relaxed environment. It allows you to get to know your local law enforcement, as well as the local law enforcement to get to know the citizens that they serve. I have a lot of young deputies at the Sheriff's Office who aren't from Dodge County. This gives them the opportunity to get into the community and meet people on a one-on-one basis in, like I said, a relaxed environment. No agendas. It's strictly to get to know your local law enforcement and have law enforcement get to know you. Like I said, we had one in Waupun about a month ago. We hope to come back to Waupun. The next one that we're having is tomorrow, or on Thursday in Juneau, and we're going to be having one at the Chalet in Fox Lake on July 15th, but we're moving it throughout the county. So there's press releases done on it, so if you're ever in the area, stop on by, have a cup of coffee with your local law enforcement. Great way to get to know what they're doing, as well as law enforcement to get to know what the citizens are doing. We've also developed an opioid task force group. It consists of District Attorney Kurt Klomberg, Judge Steve Bauer, and myself. What we're doing is we're going around to the different school districts and we're having town hall meetings. We have a panel that consists of physicians, pharmacists, law enforcement, the legal service, recovering addict, a parent of an addict, as well as a state representative from Madison. We start the town hall meeting out with them asking questions of each other, and then we open it up to the community. The goal is to bring an awareness of the prescription drug abuse that we're seeing, as well as the heroin abuse. We're finding that kids between the ages of 12 and 13, that's when they're getting addicted to these prescription drugs. And we feel that we need to get out to the community and educate the community what's actually going on in their area, and provide them with the information if they need assistance or where they can go and find help. And we've had one at Dodgeland, we had one at Horicon. On May 29th, we're having one in Lamira, and then I'm happy to say on June 12th, we're bringing it to Waupun. So if you're available on June 12th at 6:30, come on out, come over to your school, listen to what's going on. A lot of people, I think, are going to be amazed what's going on in their community. I know I've talked to the chief numerous times. He thinks it's a great idea. We're partnering up with the Waupun Police Department. They'll have somebody on the panel to answer the questions that they're seeing what's going on in Waupun. So highly encourage you and the citizens to come on out. Like I said, it's June 12th. Along the lines with the opioid abuse and prescription drug abuse, we installed a prescription drug drop box at the sheriff's office at the end of August. From the end of August till the end of December, we took in over 300 pounds of unwanted, unused prescription drugs. Now, if that doesn't go to show you that there's a lot of prescription drugs out there that don't need to be out there, I don't know what it'll tell you. So, I know Waupun has a box, correct, Chief? You got unused drugs in your house, get rid of them, okay? If you don't need them, take them to the police department, bring them to the sheriff's department, let us dispose of them the proper way. We're finding that these addicts out there, they're breaking into these residences, trying to steal the prescription drugs or trying to steal money or jewelry to continue with their addiction. So if you could protect yourself by getting rid of your unused drugs. So bring them on over to the sheriff's department or your police department, get them out of your household. This past couple of months, beginning of this year, we were awarded the TAD grant. It's Treatment Alternative Diversion Grant. The Sheriff's Office received $140,000 to start a new program in the county. What is this program? It's for nonviolent offenders that when they go in front of the judge, they are ordered to go and get an assessment, and then they begin their treatment to help with their addiction right immediately at the beginning of their court process. Currently, they wouldn't get that treatment until after they've been sentenced. We're moving that up to the first time they see the judge. A lot of these individuals that are doing these crimes aren't bad people. They have an addiction. They have a medical issue that they need help with. So by this TAD grant, we're going to be able to get the assessment done, determine what kind of treatment plan to put them on, and it begins immediately. Most people are vulnerable at the time of their arrest. So the sooner that we can get them help, the sooner that they can get the treatment and overcome their addiction. There's 7 counties that have had this TAD program. Out of that 7, they're showing an 80% success rate that if the individual completes the program, they no longer reoffend. And isn't that our true goal? To get these individuals the help that they need so that they're no longer out there offending, committing crimes in our community, and they can become productive citizens. So we're looking at getting that program up and running by July of this year. And hopefully next time I come back, I can tell you the success stories that we've seen. We've also developed a community crime reduction team. What is that? It consists of approximately 12 deputies that will come in on certain times of the day, certain days of the week. And what we do is we go on, if the chief calls me up and says, Sheriff, we have an issue with drugs coming into the community and we think that they're coming in on this date at this time. I'm going to send him anywhere between 4 and 6 deputies, and all we're going to do is we're going to saturate the city of Waupun with squads. We're going to start doing traffic stops for those that are, violating if they're going 5 miles over the speed limit. Any violation, traffic violation, a traffic stop is going to be occurring. We're going to find out why are you in our community, what are you doing, and do you have drugs in your car, and are you bringing them into this area? We had one in Ashburn. I had citizens calling me up saying, what's going on, Sheriff? What's going on? People pay attention when you start having that many squads in the area. It has a positive effect. Not only in Ashburn, we were over in the city of Beaver Dam helping Beaver Dam out. So, but it's not just for the drugs. We can use it for alcohol enforcement. Last summer we had a lot of daytime burglaries occurring. We can use it for that. Anytime that we are notified of a specific problem in a specific area, we're going to deploy this group, and all they're going to do is saturate the area, finding out who's in our community, who shouldn't be in the community, and get them off the streets, preventing the crimes that have been occurring. Along with that, not only that, distracted driving. April was distracted driving month. You're going to see extra patrol going out trying to reduce the distracted driving that's going on. A lot of individuals, they think it is just from your cell phone for the distraction. Distracted driving can result from anything, not just your cell phone. If you're bending down to get your soda, if you're playing with your radio. Individuals need to understand when you get behind the wheel of your car, there's one job that you should be doing, and that's paying attention to the road and driving. So you're going to see extra enforcements out there for just the distracted driving aspect. We also recently received some money from the Land Resource Department to assist us in buying a new robotic total station for our crash team. The past total station that we had, it took 2 deputies to man. One held one piece of equipment, and the other one walked around the scene taking different points, okay, of evidence. And then they'd have to go back to the sheriff's office, download all the information to recreate the scene. This new equipment is robotic. That means you set up one part of it, and that piece follows the deputy around itself. So now I'm down, instead of 2 deputies at a crash scene, I'm down to 1. Not only will it help me with my resources on the road, but the time that the roads are closed are going to be cut in half. So if we have to have a road closed for 4 hours because of a fatal crash, now we can reduce it down to 2 hours. This wouldn't have been possible without the teamwork that we had with our Land Resource Department at Dodge County. The director, Joyce Fiacco, we were talking approximately a year ago about how nice it would be to update our equipment, but because of budgetary restrictions, we were unable to do so at the sheriff's office. And she says, you know what, Sheriff, I think I can help you out with that. And she was able to find the money for us, and just that teamwork that we've developed really has helped. So not only has she helped our department, but we can go and help the highway department, we can help her department with anything by using this equipment for various things besides just crashes. So that's just a couple of the very few things that have been going on at the Sheriff's Department for the past year. This coming Saturday, we're having an open house, countywide open house. I encourage you, if you have nothing to do Saturday, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., you come on over to the county. I'm not going to say just the Sheriff's Office, because we're opening up all of the county buildings. Clearview will be opened up, the Henry Dodge Building, the Highway Department, the Administration Building, the Sheriff's Office, the courthouse, and the jail. So if you want to come over, if you've never been in the jail and you want to see what it's all about, come on over. We're doing tours from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Talk with the employees. Go to Clearview. They have a great new facility. They'll let you know what's new in their world, and we can let you also know what's going on at the sheriff's office. We're going to have a lot of displays, SWAT team, our crash team, our K-9s, anything and everything. So it's going to be a nice day out. Come on over to the city of Juneau and take a look at all the county's buildings. Last but not least, if you want to keep updated on what's going on at the sheriff's office, go on Facebook, like my page, Sheriff Patricia Ninman. I keep all of my press releases. If roads are closed, anything and everything I put on my Facebook page, and they'll keep you up to date with what's going on at the sheriff's office. So, thank you. Any questions about the sheriff's office? I know I talk fast.
Had pretty eventful, few years here.
Yes, it has been very busy, and in all honesty, I couldn't have done it without the support of my staff. I probably have the best staff of any sheriff's office in the state of Wisconsin, the most professional, dedicated employees. And, when I'm one who I like to dream big, and I have a lot of great plans, right, Peter? And I go to my staff, and they're more than willing to help out when needed. And so, like I said, this wasn't just me. It was the department as a whole.
Any questions or comments?
You want me to talk about the...
Yes, if you could.
All right.
About the
Chief, you want to
memorial.
Tomorrow we're having the Dodge County memorial ceremony at the administration building in Juneau, and we're going to have a groundbreaking for the memorial site. We initially had planned on having it completely done. However, this past winter was not kind to many, and it wasn't kind to us as well. So we're going to turn it into a groundbreaking ceremony, but this is a rendition of what it's going to look like when it's been completed. Now, for the city of Waupun, some of the opportunities, if you so choose, we do have, the city of Horicon has purchased one of the benches for us. And I believe the cost for the bench is $3,000, and on it you can have any anything and everything that you want. I believe the city of Horicon possibly is going to have their badge as well as shoulder patch, as well as maybe some kind of saying. They had, I want to say it was 2 individuals from the city of Horicon that lost their life in the line of duty. So it's paying tribute to those individuals.
Some of the questions we talked about this at a previous meeting, some of the questions were exactly what would be available for what type of donation, for the size of the donations. Chief Joe Adamson from Horicon Pete is actually one of the point people. This council, kind of the fill-ins here. For a bench, we had talked about that at the last meeting. I think the bench would be $3,000.
One of the fallen officers, but on the back, we could engrave those if you want. Currently, I believe there's 13 individuals that are going to be on these for corrections. You have that if you so choose.
There's also the planters. My opinion with the planters, I don't think the planters are going to last as long as what something or the monument or a bench would be.
And the bench is granite, correct?
Correct.
Did Archie, it said Archie Monuments, did they donate towards the second bench? It had City of Horicon 1 bench, and then it said Archie Monument 2,000.
Archie Monument did give a donation. It does say 2,000 on this sheet also here. So originally, I'm assuming the way I'm reading it is that Archie donated $2,000 for the project.
Oh, okay.
Correct?
Yes,
That's
I
what I'm
believe
reading,
you're
yeah.
correct.
Towards the project.
And Sheriff Rodeo, maybe you could elaborate at least for public members of the paving bricks and what the options are available for those.
The paving bricks, as you can see here, prices were organization brick. Have an insignia on it, like I've got a brick over in the Fond du Lac Lawn Memorial. It says Chief Dale Herring. Size, whatever you want. Price for those. I don't have that in front of me.
But if you do find out that information in the future, maybe if the mayor could consider putting a paragraph or some amount of reference to this and options available to the general public also. Sure.
What we can do is, I can send out the flyer that has all that information to the
That
city
little
council.
handout, I passed out that the information may be in there. Still have that. I didn't.
I gave mine to Kyle.
Give it to Mike.
Really? I could email that out to him.
I mean, I don't know if I have that flyer.
That was another. Oh, the tripod. Yeah.
Yeah, the one that I have on my iPad doesn't list.
And the location means that it's still going to be in Juneau
Administration.
Building, Sheriff's Department.
Sure, does that face south then or southeast?
We can't swing the bench, you don't think?
It's going to be,
Other than the pavers?
yeah, it's on the south side, southeast, because we didn't want it facing,
Businesses, I'm
yes,
sure.
correct.
Bill, do you remember how much the paver was that you bought in Fond du Lac?
$50-$60.
Yeah, that's why, can't we?
Well, we have an opportunity for a bench, or it looks like both of the monuments are still available also. So and it looks like they're $3,000, so. It's be the determination of the council which direction you'd like to go. I think the $3,000 would be appropriate.
I personally like the bench idea. I've seen,
You don't like or you like?
I do.
That's what I just said.
I've seen what Horicon was doing, and as Dale described, and it looked very professional. It didn't just look like, an amateur with a chisel that did it. It looked just like an appropriate professional job that I believe Archie must be doing also. I believe it would be top notch. And I agree with Dale that the planters, they could absorb moisture, concrete's porous, that could degrade in time and may not last. I mean, if you go to a cemetery, you see how much granite lasts, unless it's, mostly it lasts infinite.
Unless they get tipped over.
Unless they get tipped over.
I would entertain a motion for consideration.
I'll make that motion
I'll second.
for the bench.
Could and on what is on it, ask Dale to just handle himself, or between Dale and the mayor, come up with the appropriate, based on Horicon's design and graphics, something similar, and let them two decide.
Here's the motion and the second.
I got a quick question.
Okay.
Do we split some of the cost with the police department? So it's a city of Wapana and police department, or do we just share that?
We would probably just fund it probably out of the common council's budget, or, some other budget where we find the funds available. I think, Dale would probably just try to come up with some type of, but we would share. I would think we should have some saying City of Wapana, maybe the Wapana Police Department in combination.
Okay.
I would suggest that.
And Dale's been usually pretty good at saving money in his budget for as many years as I've been here. And if there was something to contribute towards it at the end of the year that he didn't have more pressing, I'm sure he would.
Absolutely. Any other comments or questions? Angie? Take a roll on this.
Mike Johnson.
Aye.
Brian Milky.
Aye.
Nancy Vanderkin.
Aye.
Mike Kazmarski.
Aye.
So carries. What is kind of the timing on moving forward with the memorial? Is there any set, would like it by the end of June, or?
Yeah, we're hoping to reevaluate after the ceremony tomorrow, and get with our landscaper and the contractor to, see if they're really busy now, or if they have the time to do it. Otherwise, we're probably looking at September, end of September, October, just because, now they get really busy. We were hoping to start doing this already the end of March, beginning of April, when their busy season isn't quite taken off yet. So a lot's going to have to depend on them.
Good. Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, let's go on to, pardon? Oh, we need to approve the minutes. Let's back up one. Okay. We have the regular meeting April 8th and the special meeting April 15th. Entertain a motion to approve the minutes. There are no corrections.
I'll make that motion to approve them. Both of them.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Boards, committee, and commission meetings. Committee of the whole. If there's anything to add there. Board of Public Works.
Mayor, I had a chance to talk to Doug Woods from the Railroad Commission today. We're supposed to be hearing, could have heard something back within 60 days with our hearing crossing road. He is looking at us for possibly another 30 days. He's hoping. Then, depending on how he about his decision, just kind of give our.
Thanks, Dick. Brett, Library Board? Nothing to add? Okay. Recreation Board, nothing to add there. Plan Commission, nothing to add there. Zoning Board, we did have a zoning board meeting, and they did approve the variance for the development at East Jefferson Street and Washington Avenue, so that project is moving forward. And this evening, I'd like to go into closed session just for a short time, just to talk about a couple other developments that I've been working on. So, Community Development Authority, we'll have a meeting next week. Business Improvement District, we'll have a meeting tomorrow morning. Fire and Police Commission, lots of activity at the Fire and Police Commission, so we'll address one of those things later on. Utility Commission, Randy?
Nothing to add.
Under Communications, Police Chief? Fire Chief, Emergency Government Director, replacement of 2 volunteer firefighters. I know this was brought up at the Fire and Police Commission meeting the other night, and I believe they asked Jeff, or directed Jeff to go ahead and seek to fill those 2 vacancies in.
Right, we had a retirement in 2012 or since the vaccination in 2012 and a retirement at the end of 2013, so we have positions, and Police and Fire Commission felt it'd be tremendous start looking to fill those positions upon the blessing of the council. That's why we're bringing it before you tonight.
I believe it's important that we get those positions filled, and I would entertain a motion that Jeff be authorized to go ahead and fill those. Do you have a current
We have
eligibility list, or?
We have no eligibility list. We'll have to create one. Our retirement was in 2010, so it's expired.
And you advertise for that traditionally, correct?
We just put it on a sign. We accept applications.
Oh, okay. Okay. Some type of advertising.
So put it on the board for so we can look after. We did set up our job description. Similar. Look at it. We have one back, and we're still waiting on one other person to some minor recommendations to it. So we're trying to upgrade it as we go too.
So I entertain a motion for authorize Jeff to go ahead and fill those vacancies.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mike.
I'll second.
Second Pete. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. City Clerk?
Nothing.
Nothing? Back to, I think the other ones have been taken care of, so. Entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda reports.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Under new business, write-off of delinquent 2012 personal property taxes and 2013 prior special assessments. Everyone should have that in your packet as far as the assessments. The ones from Fond du Lac County were actually go back to the time when Anna Rockefeller owned the property on, I believe it's Franklin Street. I know we had taken down a house years and years ago, and that was, I think, part of the assessments. And over time, there's been a lot of snow removal, weed cutting. The county did foreclose on that property and took it back, and they indicated to us that the most likelihood we would probably get nothing out of that should they end up selling it, because they would probably recover their costs and their delinquent taxes on the property before we would see anything as far as the special charges or assessments. So they did recommend to us that we just write those off as uncollectible. The other delinquent specials were for 2012. Those are the ones that were uncollectible. As you can see, we did charge back to the county, Moraine Park, and the school district their share of those taxes, and we have collected that dollar amount. So the amount that we would be writing off is a little over, what is it, about $140 some as far as the city's portion of those, and we don't anticipate collecting from those businesses. Any questions, comments? Otherwise, I'd entertain a motion that we write those off as uncollectible.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
Motion off is
Motion by Mike, second.
I'll second.
Second by Pete. Any comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Proclamation for Peace Officers Memorial Day. We have the proclamation there. We did receive a proclamation for the Peace Officers Memorial Day, the National Police Week, which is May 15th. I received this from Chief Dale and entertain a motion to so proclaim Peace Officers Memorial Day, National Police Week of May 15th, 2014.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Motion by Pete,
I'll second it.
second by Nancy. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Item 3 is the state trust fund loan application and refinancing. The worksheet that was approved at the Common Council or Committee of the Whole meeting, I believe, last meeting, sent it into the state. They did send an application to go ahead with the $700,000 economic development loan for TIF district number 5, excuse me. The loan would be up to 7 years. It'd be 3.5% interest rate. At the talking to the individual from the state trust fund loan department, he indicated, and we had talked about an existing loan that we had with the state. It has to do with our pension liability that we were paying off. That probably goes back to the 60s when the city first joined the state pension system. We had a liability that we incurred, and we borrowed money to pay that off. We have 4 years left on that. It was at 5.5%, so I requested to see if we could refinance that down to the 3.5%. And being that it's connected with a new financing, they would do that. They would not do that if it was just a standalone loan. So part of the motion would also be to refinance that balance of that loan for the remaining 4 years of it at 3.5%.
So the total length of the loan is how long, please?
We'd still have the refinancing would still be 4 years, but we'd be able to refinance at 2% less. And then the $700,000 loan would be at 7 years. Or there's no prepayment penalty or for that either. So if the increment comes in faster than anticipated, we'd be able to pay that off earlier. And that's at once again at 3.5%.
I'd make that motion to approve the state trust fund loan application and refinancing as you stated.
I hear a second.
I'll second it.
Any comments or questions? Angie, take a roll on that one.
Mike Johnson.
Aye.
Ryan Miller.
Aye.
Nancy Vanderkin.
Aye.
Marcy.
Aye.
Extension of the fire chief retirement to August 31st, 2016. Oh, was that a misprint?
17.
17. We attended the Police and Fire Commission last week, and part of the discussion that was supposed to take place here was to look into hiring an interim fire chief to fill the vacancy that Jeff would be leaving had he retired this Friday. Jeff attended the meeting and indicated that he'd be willing to stay on to help out to kind of cover that gap in coverage, to keep some continuity within the department. And the Police and Fire Commission thought that would be, good for the department and to keep that continuity in place. And it may also give us an opportunity, or Jeff an opportunity, to work with the future fire chief for a period of a week or 2 weeks prior to him being officially retired on August 31st. So being that the council had previously accepted his retirement letter, has come back this evening for your reconsideration to extend that to August 31st. So, Jeff, do you have any comments?
I do think it's, after talking with the Police and Fire Commission close, it's the best, the situation that they had, and I don't think it was the best bid for the fire department, it would have been 2 days a week. I don't know if we can share that with
Sure.
people here. It would have been 2 days a week, and it probably would have been a little bit more money. And, 16 hours a week. I don't think you can justify talk back and forth, and I just offered that, I'd say, until the end of August, continually going and stuff, and hopefully they'll have somebody hired for maybe 2 weeks. But I'm not going to extend it after August 31st. I would go on vacation to September 6th, so.
Could it possibly be before August 31 in case somebody gets hired earlier and then you find out that they're
No,
reducing?
I had to I'll set my dates for the
Yeah,
retirement
no,
boards
that-
again. After doing everything.
Okay.
I was on the phone today because they found out through the grapevine that I was doing this on one of our insurance things, and they tried to send us a letter of intent that you, even if you're not tonight, and so I was on the phone half the afternoon.
So as far as the Wisconsin retirement system, health insurance, everything is okay? I mean, for us to do this?
We're in the mix of trying to move it back because we didn't find out till just now. So I've made contacts with most of them. He's got to contact retirement before they cut his first check. So
Okay. I know, Nancy, you've been really involved in this process also. Do you have any?
Not in the public.
So,
No, it's-
appreciate the offer,
Yes.
Jeff, to
Yeah, it'll
step
help out.
forward and help out. I know you had given us 10 weeks prior to Police and Fire Commission, that, they wanted to kind of take their time and reviewing the job description, going through the ad, talking with some other departments, running it through CIVMIC and so forth. So it's taken a little bit more time as far as the process goes, and it was good to hear that Jeff was willing to postpone his retirement to help out for a few more months.
So you need a motion?
Need a motion to approve the extension.
I'll make a motion to approve the extension.
And a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mike. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Carried. Thanks, Jeff. Filling of police officer vacancy. Gail, would you like to discuss this further?
We have an opening in September, I think it's September 12th. Patty Toll is retiring. She's our school liaison officer. The position we would be filling would be an end-filled patrol position. We do not have an eligibility list. We're looking to start the process as soon as possible to get the authorization to fill that position.
I would entertain a motion that we authorize Dale to go ahead and fill the vacancy at the police department.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Pete, second.
I'll second.
Second by Ryan. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you.
We have a lot of ordinances already. And the Waupun, well, just was handed this, see it under mayor reports. Waupun Memorial Parade, Monday, May 26th. Everybody received this letter?
some part of the back.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's in your packet, so. Looks like the lineup begins at 8 a.m. to 8:30 at the St. Joseph's Church parking lot. Can everybody make that?
Ride and float.
Oh, really? That's what I was going to ask.
I needed, some direction there also. Is there a vehicle provided? I believe you drove.
Yeah,
Would you
I'll-
willing to drive? Okay.
If you're okay with that.
Sure.
I didn't know, I thought one of the last parades you were walking, so I was
Handing
thinking.
out candy.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad to give you a ride.
Okay, then
Will
I'm
his
set.
legs
I don't
fit in
know
there?
what the rest.
We'll make him fit.
Did the Memorial Day Parade Committee, do they provide vehicles, or?
I don't think so. I think you.
I mean, I know Dan,
Well, I
but
think they usually generate some volunteers. I can talk to my brother too. I know he's driven once in a while.
okay.
So if anybody can.
Mike's gonna be, you didn't get rid of that Corvette, did you? There you go.
There you could put, 4 in there.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
3 maybe, 3 more. But they sit on the back.
Yeah.
They've taken out a parade permit for it, so they are organizing it.
If you can attend, notify you, Angie, to
Sure.
talk to Frank or
Does anybody know
Bob?
for sure they can or cannot attend that? And
I'll be there, but I'm not riding in the parade. I'll meet you at the cemetery.
Either of you?
Possible.
That possible?
Okay. So long as we let them know ahead of time, so you can arrange a car.
I'll ride on the fire truck.
We'll have some,
Good. Item B is the mayoral salaries. But you know, this has been in the news the last week or so, and I asked Angie to put this on the agenda. I did talk to Dan, and Dan provided me some information on the Wisconsin statutes as far as either accepting, rejecting, or so forth. And I've decided after reading through that material that I'm gonna accept the salary because I believe at this point in time there's I think a 30-day window that is closed, and so I will accept the salary as approved by the Common Council back in November, and I will make a determination as to how I would donate or provide to any youth groups, service organizations, or any fundraisers in the community.
Elderly?
So elderly. So I intend on, obviously returning what I can to help out people in the community. So at this time, it's the salary is going to remain at the $10,000 level, and it's something that I would revisit next year if
I'd just like to go on the record that I think there are legal issues with doing it any other way. I think Kyle probably would have just as soon rolled it back. I don't mean to speak for you, but just so you know, we looked at the statutes and there's provisions in the Constitution, and it all gets pretty thorny trying to do anything other than that. So I think this is probably the most expedient way to get the job done, considering what his desire is.
And we'll move on from there. There's 3 ordinances. These are all brought up before the committee of the whole. All of them are recommended to the Common Council for approval. Ordinance 14-1, traffic code speed limits. Entertain a motion to approve the speed first reading.
If they could waive the
These
first
all
reading.
came up from committee of the
Okay,
whole.
so is there any reason not to waive the first reading on this one? I'd entertain a motion to waive the first reading and adopt ordinance 1401.
And just to clarify, this is primarily for Beaver Dam Street
Yes.
in town of or adjoining town of Chester.
Yes.
Okay, then I'll make the motion for ordinance 1401 to waive the first reading and to approve this evening.
Okay, and a second?
Yes, I'll second.
Second by roll call, please.
Mike Johnson.
Aye.
Ryan Milky.
Aye.
Nancy Vanderkin.
Aye.
Pete Kazmarski.
Aye.
Ordinance 14-02 entitled Traffic Code, Other Intersection Controls. I believe this is at the Mayfair, Taft, Fraser intersection areas. So I'd also entertain a motion to waive the first reading and adopt this ordinance.
I'd make that motion.
Motion by Mike.
Seconded.
Second by Nancy. Roll call, please.
Mike Johnson.
Aye.
Ryan Milky.
Aye.
Nancy Vanderkin.
Aye.
Pete Kazmarski.
Aye.
And ordinance 14-03, municipal code entitled floodplain ordinance. This one, I believe we'll need to waive the first reading just to get the ordinance into the DNR in a timely manner. I believe it's due tomorrow, so I'm entertaining a motion that we waive the first reading and adopt this also to be in compliance.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, a second.
I'll second.
Second by Ryan. Roll call.
Mike Johnson.
Aye.
Ryan Milky.
Aye.
Nancy Vanderkin.
Aye.
Pete Kazmarski.
Aye.
So carried. Payment of the bills.
Make a motion to pay the bills of the month.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please. Any questions first? Any comments? Okay, roll call.
Mike Johnson.
Aye.
Ryan Milky.
Aye.
Nancy Vanderkin.
Aye.
Pete Kazmarski.
Aye.
And we have a number of licenses. How would you like to take those all in one?
Yes.
Yep.
Or would you like to let's withhold the one for the amusement license, but I would entertain a motion to approve the other licenses as listed. If there've been any operator's license, Dale, is that one okay? Okay. Taxi driver license?
Correct, that's good too.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to accept all of them and hold the amusement.
And a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Dale, could you maybe brief us a little bit on the amusement license, or Dan, regarding the Sylvester Sheridan at 427 East Main Street? I believe he's opened up a center there that has different games, pool table and so forth in there for.
Correct. It's listed as the Spa Teen Center. There our licensing, it's got that the clerk will do a background check for people that they have good moral character and have not been convicted within 2 years of the application of a violation, or has been convicted of a felony within 5 years of the date of application. In this situation, I won't go into great detail as far as conviction dates, things of that nature. The person that took out this license has approximately a page and a half of in-house contacts with our local police department. He has been issued citations in the past for ordinance violations. He's got somewhat of an extensive criminal history. He's done time in 2 different prisons in Michigan. He's convicted of some felonies, some of the crimes including violence, such as armed robbery, battery, prostitution, drug violations. So it's something that, as chief, I'm just bringing to the council's attention. We did talk about this previously, being that none of the convictions fall within the parameters where it says for 5 years for a felony conviction. It's been 5 years plus since this individual has been convicted of a felony. So I guess where we're standing right now, we're going to license more or less in kind of.
Well, we have got a number of options here. Again, there are 3 reasons where it says the clerk treasurer shall deny. And the one is the chief mentioned was convicted within 2 years of violation of this particular ordinance. The other is conviction of a felony within 5 years. Those don't fit, okay, because it's before that time. The third one is just the of good moral character, which is, not the most objective standard that we have. It's somewhat subjective. So we talk about the options. Well, one thing the clerk could do is just deny the license, and if the person wants to appeal, they can appeal to the common council, come here and explain why they want the license and what to do. That was one option. Another option that we talked about, and again, I don't want to speak for the staff, but Dale and I talked about it with Kyle present, was possibly having you just approve the license through the end of June, trial basis, and see how it goes. And then we can take a look at it again at that time and see if you want to extend it, for further or not.
I think that would be the best bet. That would be my recommendation also. I have spoke to the property owner and discussed some of the problems and the location of this if it turns into be a chronic problem this summer. It's right on Main Street. I've had one complaint up there, a noise complaint, where it had police intervention, and the property owner was up there. It's just kind of informational at this time, and I think that would be the best route to go, just to do it on a trial basis, see if we have any problems and deal with it.
Dale, what's in the facility? What you speaking amusement? You're speaking of?
It's very limited. There's a pool table in there. There's some electronic video games.
Is it a bar?
No. There's no liquor license, no alcohol involved at all.
So it's just games, and
just games, youth type games.
Is this gentleman in there all the time, so they have an adult in there observing them?
Well, we can't guarantee that either. There's no provision that they have to do that.
Right.
The sign in small print says something to the effect that there's a responsible adult on premises.
Okay.
That's just a small computer, one-page printed sign taped to the front door.
Leo, how did you come up with the end of June timeframe versus some other?
It's when the licensing comes up for renewal.
Oh, okay.
So we give a month and a half, just as kind of as a,
All of our licenses come up mainly in that June, the bartenders and the liquor and amusement.
We will come to the council meeting in June for renewal for all the licenses.
Granted, that's a short period of time, but give us the leeway to see how it goes.
And then at that time, Dan, our options are the same as you discussed.
Well, I think there'd be a little more of a thrust that you'd have to have had a problem within that time. Yes, if you're going to make the decision based on the information you've got here, you can make it today. I think the thought was if you do it till June and there are no problems, then it's a little more of an indicator that you can grant the license for a year.
Is that location a business, or is it just running on donations, or what is it actually? You know right offhand?
He's renting it from the property owner.
I'm assuming he's making money on the gaming there.
is it the building right next to Reel's Carpet Cleaner, or is it the one just to the west?
I believe so.
Okay.
It's to the west, yes.
Location of it. I would entertain a motion that we grant the license till the end of June, trial basis, for consideration for this annual license effective July 1st on satisfactory completion of the temporary license or the
I'll make the motion.
second.
Yes.
Look at my mic. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye. Pardon? What do you have to do? Nay?
Nay.
Nay.
Motion carried 3-1. There's no closed session listed, but I would like to go into closed session for 5 minutes. It's under economic development section. Is that 1985 1F? 1F, okay. And we wouldn't be coming back in an open session for any business or any motion, so just to bring you up to date on.
I'll make a motion to go into closed session,
On one condition.
I'll
but I can go have a cigarette.
No, I can go back.